Today we are going to make a video about privilege, and this is a topic that might get some of y'all pissed off. It might have the potential to trigger some New York Rangers fans. However, I will go out there and say, if you're a New Jersey Devils fan watching this video, it's gonna make you feel a lot better. Just saying. The reason we're talking about the New York Rangers and privilege here today is because of a series of tweets made by Byron Bader from the other day that I thought were interesting. Just for all the context over here, the New York Rangers have been in a pretty interesting spot the past few years. They made themselves the third round last year, and it was a pretty good run. They had some pretty good showcases. They had the kid line going out there, Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. They were all going off, not to mention the fact that Kreider had a 50-goal year last year too, so very good for him to get that number under his belt. But when it comes to the Rangers, this was a team that was sort of in the midst of a rebuild just a few years ago. You take a look at the standings for this team and you see that while they did have some extended success in the early 2010s, they made the Stanley Cup Finals, they lost to the LA Kings, they had themselves a pretty significant downturn in the 2017-18 season. Then they had 77 points in 82 games played and were 8th overall in the Metropolitan Division. So not a great season, just in terms of the points. Then you also had yourselves the next year where they finished 6th overall in the Metro. The season after that, they actually finished 7th overall, but they had a chance to play in the playoffs because of that weird qualifying round situation in the bubble. Then you had yourselves the Rangers finishing 5th overall in 2020-2021, did not qualify for the playoffs. They finished 2nd in the Metro last year. They made it to the 3rd round, and now this season you have another year where they actually do pretty well. They have 107 points in 82 games played, good enough for 3rd in the Metro. Now, we know they lost to New Jersey, and that was that, but this tweet thread from Byron Bader goes out there and talks about the Rangers and discusses something about their team that I hadn't really been seeing anyone else talk about until now. Here's a tweet that kind of started it all. It's quite something that the Rangers have managed to rebuild into a playoff team when their 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 9th overall picks from the past 5 years didn't really work out, and they got lit on fire with that Buchnevich trade. Now, who exactly is Byron Bader talking about? Well, 1st overall, 2020, Alexis Lafreniere. Remember we talked about that play-in series? Well, Lafreniere went over to a play-in series loser, one of the 8 teams that were eliminated in those play-in rounds, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, Pittsburgh Penguins, Edmonton Oilers were all involved in that process as well. So the Rangers ended up winning at the dismay of all these other franchises that other people said should not have had an opportunity to get Lafreniere in the first place. 2nd overall was 2019, that was Kaapo Kakko. 7th overall, 2017, Lias Andersson. Yeah, that guy's playing in the AHL with the LA Kings and their farm system. He's playing with the LA Kings as well, the regular team once in a while too. 9th overall, 2018, that's Vitali Kravtsov. He is a Vancouver Canuck now. He was traded for very, very little comparative to what a 9th overall pick probably should be worth. So Bader's main point here is that even though the Rangers had that sort of a rebuild in the mid-2010s, they had a 1st, a 2nd, a 7th, and a 9th overall pick that really didn't work out. And you traded away Pavel Buchnevich, who was a pretty good scoring forward, for Sammy Blais. And this is where we start talking about things that might get y'all ticked off. Let's talk about privilege. Byron Bader says this: any other team that doesn't attract 90% of all free agents would have been toast. And the reason he says this is because Adam Fox only wanted to go there. Panarin probably only wanted to go there. Trouba only wanted to go there. Trocheck probably only wanted to go there. Tarasenko only wanted to go there. And Kane only wanted to go there. Igor Shesterkin was a legitimate draft ad and probably makes them a playoff team, honestly. But any other team is absolutely toast if those top picks, Lafreniere, Kakko, Andersson, and Vitali Kravtsov, don't work out like this. Most every player will always want to go to New York City, and they'll always have that advantage, whether they're good or bad. And you know, this is where privilege comes in, doesn't it? Adam Fox is probably the most obvious example about this because he was drafted a ways away ago. He was not a Rangers draftee. He was taken initially by the Calgary Flames, and when they had him, they kind of knew already, okay, this guy does not want to come to our team. He wants to play with the Rangers. Okay, let's include him in the Dougie Hamilton Carolina Hurricanes deal, and we'll see if he signs there, because we can get some value back, get some guys that are good, and the Hurricanes can try to sign Adam Fox then. Guess what? They didn't work things out. The Hurricanes tried to sign Adam Fox. He said no. He wanted to be a Ranger, and that was the only place he wanted to play. It was kind of a foregone conclusion that after Fox wrapped up his NCAA career, which was very good, by the way, he would become an immediate impact star for NYC. You then had yourselves Artemi Panarin, who kind of went through a similar thing, not with the trading and everything, but when he was a free agent, we all kind of knew, okay, Big Apple, big money, big spotlight, Artemi Panarin might want to go there. Trouba, Trocheck, other examples here. Tarasenko has been a name linked to New York for years before he got traded over there. And then for Patrick Kane, we all kind of were sort of, dare I say, disappointed when the entire conversation as to where Kane's gonna go ended up narrowing itself only to the Rangers. There was a period of a few days before the trade actually went down where it was like, okay, the Rangers got Tarasenko, and they're gonna get Kane too, because Kane wants to go there. Like, all these other teams, Toronto, you got the other conversations going around as to whether or not other playoff caliber teams could get Kane. They all went down the drain when we realized, oh, he only wants to play for the Rangers. This is really twisting Chicago's arm now, isn't it? The Rangers have privilege. People want to play for them. They're the most expensive NHL team, I believe, and it's by a pretty significant margin, something like that. If it's not like that now, then it probably was like that at some point in the past few years. But the Rangers are a big money, big fan base, big presence, big lifestyle organization, and players want to go there. It's just the really good ones end up happening to do so whenever it is that they choose. So for New York, this might have ruffled some feathers, just going out there and acknowledging that this is the case, especially when you bring up the fact that a lot of your first-round picks have failed over the past few years. Lafreniere, Kakko, sure, they've got time to grow, they're still all right, but in the context of what a first overall or a second overall pick should be 4 years after they're drafted, yeah, they're not there yet. Vitali Kravtsov, 2018, same thing. Lias Andersson, 2017, 7th overall, same thing. You cannot fumble these draft picks. And the Rangers have fumbled 4 of them in a row, yet they're still so good because they've gotten help because they're New York, and players want to go there. Oh, Lego go out there, keep whining about the Rangers and the privilege they have because players want to play for their team. Yeah, okay, like, cool. I'm gonna go out there and continue talking about that because we still have some gameplay left, and am I jealous that other players are so willing to go to your team? Yeah, absolutely. I would have loved it if Adam Fox wanted to be a Vancouver Canuck. We know that's not the case because he didn't grow up here, but still, just an example as to how things work out. Do I have the right to be jealous? Okay, maybe, maybe not, that's your call. But am I jealous regardless? Hell yeah! Your team definitely has a lot of benefits that other NHL organizations cannot say that they have. And even though that might get a little bit sensitive to bring up, depending on who you are, I know a lot of Jersey Devils fans that are watching this video are probably like, yeah, man, yeah, they have all those benefits. They get all the players, they get all the free agents, they get all the big-name talents, and they still lost to us. We dominated them in Game 7, and we're not going to let you go. We're not going to let you off the hook because we're going to remember that victory till Jack Hughes' career comes to an end. Yeah, I get it. Hockey rivalries are kind of funny, isn't it? But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about how the Rangers are a privileged NHL organization and how it is that Byron Bader's Twitter thread sort of resonates with you. Do you really think it's worth pointing out that all these players, Trocheck, Tarasenko, Kane, Panarin, Fox, wanted to go to New York? How the Rangers have this benefit and we can't pretend like they don't? And what this spells out for their draft picks that have failed over the past few years too? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.